Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Just a quick one, really. I won't play the documentary. It's quite a long one, to be honest. Ron Wyatt, the miraculous first trip to find Noah's Ark. So a guy called Ron Wyatt believes he found Noah's Ark, and the Turkish government. It was found at the top of Mount Ararat, and the Turkish government, if you watch the documentary, I don't know if it's all in this one, but it's Ron Wyatt, like the Noah's Ark documentary. If you want to watch it, he has actually got a channel. This is his channel that I'm on here. Um, the Turkish government did actually declare the site and have like a visitors centres there, I believe, or did have. Um, when the documentary I watched years ago was knocking about, and basically, the tale was, I think, in the Second World War, a Japanese fighter was flying over possibly Turkey. I think he was Japanese. I'm not sure. Second World War, some pilot was flying over. Unless it was Ron Wyatt, and was flying over this anyway. This is what we can see on the screen, and he looked down and he seen sort of a boat-shaped object. I don't know if I can get a better picture of it. But this is what he's seen anyway from the sky, and looking down on it, and they sort of could see this bit, and then the outline of the edges. And he thought whoever he was, can't remember, that looks a bit like a boat. It might have been Ron Way when he was in the Air Force or something, and he flew over it to see it, or somebody did, and then he went back and he had a look. And anyway, it's the documentary claims that it is Noah's Ark or Gilgamesh's Ark, and the Turkish government do declare it so. And they reckon they've done scans and found bits of metal where the rivet should be, and all sorts of stuff, really. And even sort of stones to anchor the ship were found in the mountains as well, like giving it a bit more weight, to be honest. The actual anchors, they used stones with holes in and ropes to weigh the ship down, and a ship of such magnitude would need these sort of hung over the side to give it buoyancy in the water, or it would probably tip over due to the size of the ship. So these things would be hung over the side at all times, usually. But as well, once the sea level got low enough, they would be used as anchors, and then anchor the ship to the floor, obviously, with big rocks with stones, in effect, with holes in. And there's been found in the mountains these stones, coping stones, and they've got holes in and where the ropes would have went, and in effect they are what anchored the ship. And again, found in the mountains. And I believe in the Bible it says that that Noah, or in our Bible, Noah settled in Mount Ararat. I think it's possibly in Genesis. Um, so it's in the right place. Um, it looks kind of like a ship, and this is the sort of the sides of the ship here. There, once obviously it's collapsed outwards at some point once it's rotted. Um, and yeah, the claim was that it is Noah's Ark, and they found it at the top of a mountain in Turkey. And this was a long time ago as well. Like the beauty is, I watched this documentary like God knows how many years ago. But it wasn't new news, and it was like I was watching it and I was thinking, well, why the hell has nobody told us that they found Noah's Ark? You know what I mean? Why isn't this big news? So it's dubious to whether it's true as well. There is a debate whether it's true, but it is at the top of a mountain. It is in the sort of shape of a boat. It is the size that it said Noah's Ark was in the Bible in cubits. It is the same exact size. And there is coping stones in the area that would have been used as anchors at the time. Very, very large coping stones as well. Some of the largest ever been found. One of the largest ships ever known, sort of thing. So you would need large coping stones. It is large, the largest coping stones ever found around this area. Um, and yeah, it is this Noah's Ark or Gilgamesh's Ark. And there was a high when I watched the documentary. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a Ron Wyatt documentary, so he was kind of trying to sell the idea. But I was sort of with the evidence provided in the documentary, I was pretty sure for the guy with the scans and the rivets and the coping stones and the shape of it and the exact size. if everything is said to be true, that all that is true, then yeah, you're probably right. This is Noah's Ark. You know what I mean? And it's just been frozen in time at the top of this mountain, in effect, and petrified. And how it all come about as well is that all this was not exposed. I think when Ron Wyatt first went to the site, and there was an earthquake, and he went back the next day, and all this had sort of fell away and exposed itself. I think was the story, and from there it led on to believing this to be Noah's Ark. I mean, I say there is documentaries on it. It's been covered by quite a few people now. I believe I've known about this for quite a while, but um, I believed it to be true. But then I've seen other people saying it isn't, so I don't know. But from the evidence I seen, it looked pretty true to me. And the Turkish government opened an official tourist site near it, I believe, to go and visit it. That was in the documentary. So this is just what the documentary said, but it was pretty believable to me, to be honest. And if everything said I say about the coping stones and the size and the mountain and everything, it all kind of points that way, to be honest. And um, even the shape, you know what I mean. So I know this side sticks out a bit, but it's obviously if the wood sort of collapsed over time as it rotted, it could sort of disfigure it. But who knows? But that was the claim, and by Ron Wyatt, that this is Noah's Ark, top of a mountain in Turkey, Mount Ararat. And as I say, the documentary kind of says it is. So it's up to yourself, really. Go and watch the documentaries. And I was just putting it out there in case people didn't know, because it was one of them that, like, it was years when I seen it. Like, a lot of people have covered it now, but it wasn't big news, you know what I mean? Because this was years, like, I think this was the 70s when this happened, when he went first up here. I think it was the 1970s, possibly, or the 80s. So it wasn't big news, and nobody really told us, but it has been claimed that we found Noah's Ark at the top of the mountain where it was claimed to be in the Bible. It was the size it says in the Bible in cubits, and there was coping stones around the area. So there was good evidence for me that if all that was true, that this could be the remains of what we now know as Noah's Ark. So interesting, very interesting. Go and watch documentaries for yourself and have a look into it and see what you think. Is this Noah's Ark, or is it just a weird rock formation? And is that all it is? You know what I mean? But again, the coping stones, and there's maybe more information as well in the documentary I've missed out there. It's years since I've seen it as well. I was kind of convinced when I watched it that it was Noah's Ark, to be honest, and that we'd found it. And I was just kind of thinking, why the hell's nobody told us this? You know what I mean? So I go and watch it and decide for yourself. And if you've already seen the documentary before, to let in the comments, what do you think? Do you think it is Noah's Ark, or do you think it's a hoax? What do you think? But again, the fact that we've never been told, well, it could mean two things: one, that it's not true, or B, they don't want to tell us because it is true. You can get kind of looking at it in this world. But then if it wasn't true, there'd probably be more shouting that it wasn't true, if you know what I mean. But maybe they did at the time. I don't know, because I think it was a while ago. It was when I was young, to be honest, or before I was born. So yeah, I just put it out there. Noah's Ark, Turkey, Mount Ararat. Ron Wyatt was the guy, and there's plenty of documentaries or debates on it across the internet on whether it is actually Noah's Ark. I mean, we keep saying Noah's Ark, but it appears to be Gilgamesh. But whatever, we'll stick with Noah because that's what we know it as. But yeah, what do you think? Peace.